Becoming a powerhouse means you need to invest in something that converts to power. There's a process of alchemy, meaning when one thing converts to another, and you can't really explain how. The mystics of ancient days would talk about the concept of alchemy, of converting some sort of raw material into something else more precious like gold or silver, but it would just be almost like a magic, if you will. But there's an alchemic process when we do what we need to do to invest in ourselves and something in us converts to power. I don't know how reading a bunch of books can convert to personal power. I don't know how, winning little victories every day converts to self-confidence, but they do. The more that you invest in yourself, the more that you put into you, the greater chance you have and the greater the process is going to quicken where you convert this to personal power. We're trying to make you into a powerhouse, someone who exerts or brings power to a situation. That's what a powerhouse is, someone who can bring power and influence to a situation. You've been in plenty of situations and circumstances where you didn't bring power. You were under the submission of power from other people. They were exerting power over you. Now, it's not about dominance, okay? Not about dominance in a bad way. It's about exerting influence. It's about not being walked over, yes, but it's also being able to bring power that solves problems for other people, that brings change. I don't want to come into a situation and exercise the intimidation of my soul or try to yell at people or be moody or do something in the natural to try and dominate other people. I don't want to talk over them. I don't want to do that. No, I want to bring confidence. I want to bring self-assurance. I want to bring talent. I want to bring knowledge and experience, and let that be the influencer, the part of me that helps to bring change. But it's simply the expression of that personal power. That's why the investment is so important. So, for example, I like to read, but I read broadly. On my podcasts, when I ask for questions, often people will ask the same question. And one of the questions that they ask over and over again is, what am I reading, or what books do I recommend? And most of the time, I can never answer the question. Why? Well, number one, I'm reading several books at the same time. Number two, I'm reading things that are often very old. Number three, I'm reading things from subjects that somebody else is really not going to be interested in. So how can I tell them a reading list? I might be reading something, for example, like right now on the Civil War, reading something now on Greek philosophy, reading something on marketing, reading something that's a bio of someone else, etc. Or I'm reading academic journals or, thus and such. I'm reading all over the page. So I don't really follow the New York Times bestseller list. I don't care. It doesn't really, I'll get people recommend books to me. I'll read them. To me, it just sounds like echoes. I don't really hear anything original. Sure, you can apply some innovative principles to the new challenges of online business. That's always good. But in the end, what moves any business, what shapes any life, what still works for everything from physical fitness to finance to relationships is still the stuff that's worked for the last 100 years. It's still the same old stuff. But my point in saying all of that is the reason why I'm reading broadly and I keep ingesting things that really don't have necessarily any direct relevance to what I'm doing now is because I glean. What I want is raw data, raw information from my creative mind to work on. So I might read, for example, about the Civil War, or I might read about a particular general here or there, and I'm not too concerned about the events of the battle. I'm more concerned about how they approach things, the things that they said, what they thought about, what their habits were, those sorts of things, because it tells me a lot. What I need is to just look at things with my creative mind, with my conceptual power, because I take in that raw data and I glean principles, I glean things from just these outward observations. That's why oftentimes I don't want to just sink my mind in hours and hours of mindless television or films. It's not that I don't watch things, I do watch them, but I couldn't do that just continually night after night after night, because I feel like it would dull me. It would dull my senses, and I want to stay sharp, right? I want to stay sharp. And so for me, things like reading is a very good investment. Now, sometimes documentaries are helpful, much the same as a book, because my mind can go to work on those things too. My mind likes to be fed, so I want to keep feeding it. I want to keep giving myself more and more information to contemplate. And then I start to make the mental connections. And then that begins to give me insight and illumination and inspiration and revelation and understanding. I become flooded with light. And when that happens, I always have something to say. I've got a new analysis, a new critique of the world around me, of what's going on even in my own life, and some insight into contemporary psychology utilizing ancient sources. This is, part of the way I go about things, but this converts to power. This helps to make me a powerhouse. It helps to make me a power. It makes me a better communicator, makes me a better thinker. You see what I'm saying? And that's what converts to power. Investing in yourself. I'll have more to say in the next episode. Can you dig it? I hope you can.